questions, of course, will be about the pound and about finances. Elaine Collier is a finance expert here in Scotland, and she can shed some light, hopefully, into some of those dark corners. First of all, as far as the pound is concerned, talk to us about that. We've heard from Mr Salmon says we want to keep the pound, and Mr Osborne says over our dead body. What does it actually mean to consumers?
Well, I think there's been a lot of scare stories in the last few weeks about it, obviously. What we have to remember is that nothing's actually going to happen to the pound in our pocket for the next 18 months. It's a long time in politics and a long time in the financial world. I'm sure they will come to some kind of resolution. It may not be called a currency union, but my gut feeling is that they will come to some sort of halfway house.
Supermarkets, Marks and Spencer, people like that are saying, yeah, but products are going to cost more here.
They've said that, and then of course the next day they've retracted those statements. The thing is, businesses go wherever they can make profit, and as long as they're making profit, they'll continue to do business. And particularly supermarkets, where everything is down to the last percentage of 1 penny, if they decide that they want to up the price in Scotland, what will happen is that savvy consumers will just go and shop elsewhere. They'll move from Marks and Spencer's to Lidl.
What about mobile phone roaming charges?
Ah.
You'll be a foreign country.
Well, we'll hopefully still be a country within the European Union. And of course, within the European Union, they have got rid of the European Union roaming charges. So there's no extra charges regardless of which country you come through Europe.
Stamps?
Well, now that's a contentious issue. We've got quite a rural community here. We've got a lot of people who live up the end of small glens and things, a long way from centres of population. And we're already finding that now that they've privatised the post office, that they're beginning to lose service. One of the proposals from the Scottish Executive is that they renationalise the post office in Scotland so that we can guarantee that everybody gets a delivery at least once a day. If you're going to ask me if prices are going to go up, I'm going to say that's the nature of capitalism, and inflation means that prices only ever go one way. But even now you've got other choices with your post. If you've got to send parcels, and sometimes the post office is not the most cost-effective way to send them, so savvy consumers shop around and they find where is the best use for their money.
Nation of dog lovers, what about pet passports? Will the Queen need them for the corgis?
I shouldn't think so. We're pet lovers here. The other thing is that that's a European Union mandate. That is something that is set in place from Brussels. So that's not a Westminster, Edinburgh argument at all. That is whether we're in Europe or whether we're not in Europe, and we will abide by the rules of Europe. So I think free movement of all the corgis up to the castle, I think.
And the oil? Depends who you ask as to where the line of division will be. It could just be a normal geographical line that goes out where the England-Scotland border is at the moment, or it could be that Scotland gets 95% of the oil.
Well, I think should Scotland become an independent country, then maritime law will hold precedence, and that means that the borders that were moved on the eve of the new Scottish Executive being set up will be moving. But that's under maritime law. That's the law that the rest of the world adheres to, not the law that Westminster would like or that Edinburgh would like. So I think what we do is we revert back to the law of the planet Earth, the maritime law, as to the division of waters and the division of who will own the oil fields.
Very quickly, which way are you going to
vote? I'm a complete spreadsheet nerd. Numbers are what I do, getting people out of debt is what I do. I've spent 3 years with my noses inside government reports, and I not only know that Scotland could be an independent country, I think it's actually quite a good idea that we set off and chart our own course.
So that's the yes. Okay, for now, thanks very much indeed. Thanks a lot. Well.